Welcome to One India News Hour. Where are we after 1 year since lockdown? Wednesday, March 24th of 2021 has completed 1 year of nationwide lockdown in India. Many industries witnessed transformation during this 1 year. With COVID-19 induced lockdown in India, digital transformation has become the mantra and crisis-resistant strategy for all BFSI companies. Organizations have created separate teams, taken quicker decisions, and become bolder than before. The country has faced an economic and social crisis like never before. Many individuals and business owners experienced an income shock, with job and salary cuts becoming the norm. In the last 1 year, the industries have seen faster adoption of digitally enabled products. Few industries have witnessed a positive impact on their business and some have lost their business big time. Some focused their energies on crafting solutions such as video KYC, remote assisted digital journeys, using lead and activity management systems, etc., which became the need of the hour due to increased demand for digital financial services by businesses and end users alike. At the same time, the banking industry saw adoption of straight-through processing, that is STP, for account opening and retail loan products during the lockdown. The nationwide lockdown put the spotlight on cloud. Overall, with some hiccups here and there and learnings, we have come out stronger from the global crisis. COVID-19 pushed us to think differently. Digital will continue to remain the mantra of the post-COVID economy. A year after the lockdown, the total number of deaths in India has been about 1.6 lakhs, with the death rate remaining one of the lowest in the world. Let's look into today's headlines in One India. No digital tax if goods services are sold via Indian arm of foreign e-commerce firms, says Finance Minister. In a bid to provide a level playing field, the government has decided not to levy 2% digital service tax if goods and services are sold through Indian arm of foreign e-commerce players, said Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. According to an amendment to Finance Bill 2021, offshore e-commerce platforms don't have to pay a 2% equalization levy if they have permanent establishment or they pay any income tax here. India did suffer a massive impact due to COVID-19 across the economy and society, says Amitabh Kant. Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant said that industrial activities in India are expected to gain momentum from increase in government capital expenditure, accelerated COVID-19 vaccination drive, and resolute push to long-pending reforms. Addressing a virtual event organized by the UK-India Business Council, Kant further said India did suffer a massive impact due to COVID-19 across economy and society. Dream11 raises $400 million from Netflix, Airbnb investor to touch $5 billion valuation. Online fantasy sports platform Dream11, parent Dream Sports, has raised $400 million led by marquee global investors like TCV, D1 Capital Partners and Falcon Edge. Dream Sports is serving this community with a highly innovative product offerings. The company has created this special category in India to drive digital engagement to real-life sporting events and bring fans closer to the sport they love. We are proud to continually contribute to the overall expansion of the Indian sports ecosystem, said Harsh Jain, CEO and co-founder of Dream Sports. Intel CEO reveals new strategy: go big or go home. Pat Gelsinger, CEO Intel, had laid out an ambitious and expensive agenda to get the chipmaker back on track after years of stumbles. In his first strategic address since taking the top job at Intel last month, Gelsinger said the company would spend tens of billions of dollars on new manufacturing plants and double down on developing cutting-edge chip technologies. Innovation is alive and well, and we are far, far from done, Gelsinger said. Intel's core business developing of processor chips underlines every aspect of technology which is becoming more pervasive in every aspect of human existence. NatWest and Microsoft jointly work towards companies to reduce their carbon footprint. NatWest Group and Microsoft have joined forces to to help UK businesses better understand their carbon footprint and create tailored action plans to reduce their carbon emissions leveraging digital technologies. With this initiative, it will help its business customers reduce their carbon footprints. The initiative will build on Microsoft's cloud, data and AI platform alongside NatWest Group's business customer know-how and client base. Lenovo brings the Yoga Slim 7i Carbon to India. Lenovo launched the Yoga Slim 7i Carbon, a high-end notebook aimed at customers who are ready to pay for design and exclusivity. The notebook is mostly made from magnesium alloy and carbon fiber, which makes it lighter than any laptop in a similar price bracket. In fact, the Slim 7i Carbon is Lenovo's lightest notebook yet at only 966 grams. Flipkart is moving to democratize e-commerce by including Bengali and Odia languages. Flipkart said it has now expanded to 7 Indian languages spoken by nearly 75% of Indian population. Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada and Marathi were included in a span of 1.5 years. Flipkart is committed to bring the next 200 million customers online by bringing state-of-the-art technological solutions to democratize e-commerce in India. With Bengali and Odia, we are further doubling down on our efforts and making deep investments in technology to bring a natural language experience to millions of our users, customers across the country. Razer reports record profit for the first time since 2014. The pandemic afflicted 2020, spurring demand for PC gears saw Razer's sale rise 48%. Most of Razer's income comes from hardware, with that unit contributing $1.08 billion in sales. Besides its core business of gaming keyboards, mice and other accessories, the company also offers a lineup of laptops under its system division, which it says has grown its market share outside of the US. Razer Inc. surpassed forecasts and its annual revenue high mark as it recorded its first profit since 2014. Shortage of chips leads to increasing cost, says Xiaomi president. Xiaomi President Wang Xiang said the global chip supply shortage is increasing the company's costs and implied that in some cases the prices of its products might rise as a result. We will do our best to offer the best price we can to customers, but sometimes we may have to pass part of the cost increase, Xiang said. He added that the chip shortage will become a big challenge this year and the next one. Rishit Jhunjhunwala to head Truecaller's India operations. Truecaller announced that it has appointed Rishit Jhunjhunwala as the managing director for its India operations. Jhunjhunwala had joined Truecaller in 2015 as vice president of product. Jhunjhunwala, currently based in Stockholm, will relocate to Bengaluru. He will be responsible for leading the company's efforts to increase its footprint in India and accelerate revenue growth. Jhunjhunwala will also continue with his previous role of Chief Product Officer and oversee operations in Delhi, Bengaluru and Mumbai. To conclude, for many industries, this was a transformative year. The entrepreneurial spirit truly came through, with many small, medium and big industries finding their own way to pivot and carve a niche. Healthcare, EdTech, FinTech, OTT and FoodTech are some of the core sectors to grow at an accelerated pace with the digital startup ecosystem, whereas travel, tourism, hospitality and related sectors took a direct hit from the chaos that was unleashed globally. Each one of us would remember the sight of over 10 million migrant workers having to leave their livelihood in urban areas and return to their hometowns and native villages when the government declared a nationwide lockdown. While urban India easily switched to teleworking, digital payments, food delivery, e-learning, India's rural working class was struggling to make ends meet. Rural fintech and banking correspondents came to the rescue with financial empowerment of underserved communities during this time. From a developmental perspective, this fast-tracked digitization of financial services has been an unanticipated blessing for financial inclusion in spite of the disruptions brought about by the pandemic. Moreover, the government has recognized fintech as a critical enabler that can bridge the gap between urban and rural India. That's it for the day. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to War India News magazine. You can download the War India app from Google Play Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.